Hi, it's Rose. Welcome. This is the last video for the Paris and the 1789 Versailles kit. This video is so packed full that I almost fill this journal with ephemera. I fill it with belly bands and pockets and envelopes. I've tried to cover almost every single page that might have had, let's see, something on it to help you using the kits or using my kits. So I hope you'll join me. This video, I promise, is so packed full you might want to watch it in 2 or 3 goes. It's an hour and a half long, and it really literally took me all day to do. And I promise you there is so much here. You will enjoy it whether you're working with this kit or not. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your presence here. It means so much. Okay, let's dive in. So I'm gonna try and wrap up what I want to show you with this journal in probably 2 videos here, this one and the last one. So trust the process that if you're making along with me, or you've purchased the 1789 Versailles, so many of my kits are interchangeable, and so I may not have gone through everything with you. If you have questions, if there's things that you'd like to know more about and I don't cover them in the next 2 videos, please feel free to reach out to me. We're kind of switching gears. It's the beginning of May, and I'm super excited about what's happening in May. So with no further ado, I'm going to start with showing you about how I add lace. So I've been actually kind of resistant to lace. I'm going to be quite honest with you. Partly because it was something else that I had to purchase and buy. And I've been gifted some quite a bit and actually fallen in love with it. I'm not someone that wants to buy a lot of actual things for my journal because it's just more things for me to store, but I actually really enjoy some of the fun items that you can choose as accessories to make your pages and your journal come alive and pop a little more. So I want to show you one thing, and I'm sure it's fairly obvious, is adding lace to the edge. For me, paying attention to the edge of my journal is an essential element of the journal itself. Like the way that the edges, the overall look of the journal is part of the aesthetic that's important to me. So I'm just going to continue to share you. I've got, show you a couple ways. So one way is to use it as an edge, okay? Another way, so I'm going to try and kind of break up where I place the lace. Let's put that here. You can use it as a whole kind of a pocket element if you want to. So I think this one, I'm going to be able to I'm going to use it to create a pocket here. So I'm actually going to put the glue right along the edge, along this edge. And I think that hung out just a little bit more than what I wanted. So I'm going to cut a little bit off the edge here. This is a fairly wide piece of lace, but I really enjoy the way that the netting and stuff looks on it. So the way that I've placed that, I'm just going to lay it on and create a pocket where it hangs over. And these things I'm showing you, we're gonna put them in first, give it a little bit of time to dry, So you'll see me place them first, and then I'll show you how I tuck something in it. So because these will be, this one will be an interactive pocket, we'll place something back here. It's got the whole pocket here, but it's going to need to dry. Some pages as I close it up. So that's another way, as a whole page and then as a pocket. So we've got an edge, and then see, it looks beautiful on this side also. Okay. So let's do another. Let's do another one. And I'm just using the scrap lace that I have because there's quite a few different ways to do it. Let's see. That one has a ruffle on it, so I'm going to choose another page. Same thing. It's kind of redundant for me to show you how to glue something in, so mostly I'm wanting you to just see. I'm going to create a pocket in this. Whoops. Two, except for I'm going to use the lace to expand out on this side, on that side, and then out the bottom. And we'll use it as a tuck here. Sometimes once I get the lace laid down, I do have to go in and add a little more glue after it's dried one time before I place something in it to make it interactive. So that's another way, a tuck spot this way. Should we place? Let's see. I often use one that's fairly thick as a belly band, so that's another option. And then I decorate it. So in this placement, I'm going to look and see really quick and make sure I don't have a belly band in this signature. But wait, before I do, I want to make sure I'm even. I've got a lace pocket in each signature over here. Let me place one more lace pocket so that it's even. That's kind of how I like to go, is making sure that each one of the signatures kind of has a, let's see, we'll do this one the same way, just like that. Has the same elements in it so that it feels like some balance. And as you'll see a little bit later, these will be great for adding, like a great place to store any of the flip outs that I've made. And I'm purposely allowing the lace to kind of hang off. Okay, so now the belly band. See, I haven't added a lot of elements to this journal, and that's really what we're going to need to do in this particular video. So I'm going to place one here. Same thing. Just, oh, no, let's find a page where it pops a little more. It's hard because belly bands are something where with this tuck, we end up covering up a lot of the page. Let's place it here. So I'm going to leave a lot of the pages that could be standalone pages if I don't fill the journal where I'm wanting the visual elements of the journal to stand out. So this will become a belly band. So you've got an edge, you've got a belly band, and you've got a pocket, okay? So I'm gonna let these dry. I'm gonna add lace to the other edges here. And I'll be back to kind of show you how to tuck these in and what else I completed with that. Okay, as we're paying attention to the edges, the next thing I want to show you that I like to do is I'll pick a couple of the pages. If it matches with a particular journal, like this one, it will match nicely. I love to use the gilding wax. I love to cover almost everything. Let's see, where's the, says what it is. This is by Sizzix. I don't know if you can see here. This is the top. Oops. I used to also use, I have almost every color in this, and I use it on almost every single project. And I literally have had these for years and years and years. That's a rose gold, but this is gold. And so I just like to add it to the edge of the page a little bit. Any ones that I haven't spent a lot of time, if it may end up as a blank page, and particularly if I think that it might end up as a blank page like this one here, I definitely probably won't add too much to it. So I'm just adding a little bit of gilding wax, paying attention to the details of the journal. You could do that with ink. You could do that with, you know, any number of things. So that's another thing that I do. I'm going to continue to do more of that off camera. So I'll point this out too, that the pages that I really ended up in this particular journal liking the gilding wax are the ones where it created the highest amount of contrast. I love the turquoise and the gold together. So I did quite a few pages with that. The next thing I do when I'm paying attention to the edges, since we're talking about edges, is I kind of go through my pages and notice where there's any of the pages where maybe, say, for example, this one, you can see the edge needs a little attention because where I cut and where it printed left kind of a white edge. So that's the next thing I'm going to do, is pay attention to any of the edges like that that need some attention. So remember that the edges of your project are kind of essential elements to things if you want to pay attention to detail. So there's one. You kind of look on the edges. This one needs some. That's another thing that you can do. Just step up your game. This next bit is a combination of moving into the pockets I want to talk about, but also about the edging. So I've cut quite a few of these strips, because the other thing I really love to add to the edges is paper ruffle, and I probably have killed that to death for you, so I'm not going to show you how to do it, but I do want you to show you why I'm adding them to this particular pages that I am and what I'm doing with that, because that's the last piece of that. So I like to have one or two pages that help the book to look like it's aged and older, and one of the things that does that for me is when I use actually authentic aged paper. And what I've done is just torn a piece of the music page that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use it as a pocket, and I've torn it so that I can create a pocket on this particular edge. Can you see that? Let's see. I'm working here, and then I'm gonna because the paper ruffle has a couple things to remember about it. One of them is that the opposite edge often leaves kind of like a rough edge, so it's something where I'm going to want to cover it. So the first thing I'm going to do if I want to add a paper ruffle is probably, at least in this particular journal, I'm going to hide it on one of these two sides. So I'm going to add a paper ruffle here, using the music page. I'll be right back, and then I'll show you how I attach the pocket to hide the element of the ruffle. Okay, I'm actually I'll show you both pages. I put one ruffle down on the bottom here. You see that? I can tell here if I'm in. Yeah, that's a little better view. Sorry, my desk is so messy. So right along here. And I kind of want to see how I want it to lay here. I want to be able to tuck something in, and I want it to kind of look like a torn element. So I'd probably do more like, it's a great way to design your own page. Okay, and this one I'm going to make a tuck in the front. So I'm basically folding this down at the edge, right along where my page edge would be if I could see it, but it's covered with ruffle there, okay? And on this edge here, I'm going to actually also take advantage of making kind of a torn spot. I'm going to ink it, and then I'm going to glue it. Here's what that page looks like. So I've got a tuck spot here, right? Tuck spot here. And the reason I really like the music page or the book page, I'll just show you on the edge, is because it's often double-sided. And see here, you can see that it doesn't look funny on the opposite edge. So that's what that one looks like. This one, see, I've got the edge put together here. Looks like on this side. And I'm just going to glue it in. Let's see, I'm going to go this way. I think I do, as opposed to this, but either one would work. No, actually I like that better. Okay, so you could just glue your pocket in, but it covers the edges here. And it'll need a little bit of embellishment. It's a great place to add a fussy cut, or some words or something else like that. Like, this is a great place for this one, to create a tuck spot with this here too. So I think I'm going to attach her. Probably tuck those two things in there. Tackle another problem. So now these are dry, and I've got a place where I can tuck some of these things. But with the lace, right, if I'm going to add something on the top, gluing it often creates like glue that goes back down to the bottom. So a lot of the places where I'm adding sentiments or I'm adding decoration to the top of my lace, what I am doing is, ink this real quick. So I'm still going to use the Fabri-Tac glue to add this, and not my regular glue, since it's adhering to this. But I'm going to actually put a piece of scrap paper. Oops. About where I'm going to put my fussy cut. It's right about there. Okay. And then I'm going to actually place my glue directly onto that same spot where I know the paper is. and glue those together so that I still have a tuck spot that's smooth there. And this strengthens this a little bit, and it gives the lace a little bit of a decoration. So we'll put that there. And often I don't consider tuck spots like that's the final place where something will go. In the tail end of my journal, that's where I'll kind of rearrange all the placement of tucks and things like that. Okay. So next, the same thing here. Got a piece of scrap paper back there and adding some glue on the top here. And then I have I've got a little sentiment with a charm. Place here. And because the lace, let's see, is going to hold something behind it, that's the idea there of why I've got the paper in the back, so that I still have a working belly band. I have printed on vellum one of the pages that has the lace. See that? Okay. So you can add it anywhere, but these pages are fairly, as you can see here, I'm gonna make a little pocket using the lace vellum here. So cut off the strip that came with. Let's see. I'm not sure if I should go along the whole page. It doesn't quite fit across both pages, but it there. So that's another idea. If you don't want to hide up too much of your page, but have a really nice tuck spot. Snip. I'll glue that in. To me, it just adds to the decoration of the page. Okay, and it's another place where there's kind of like an aged spot. So I will probably put these in my journal next in little places. Okay, and tuck some of the ephemera. Like I've got quite a few pieces of the ephemera to stack in there, like for example this one, this one. These need to be inked, but you get the general idea. It's really nice. I like to include a lot of bows, and I thought I had one out here. Yeah, like it's nice to finish it with a bow. I guess that's optional, but I like that it plays off with that. No, actually I don't want to cover up this here. So okay, next we're going to do some flip outs. Like what do you do with pages where you just really love, absolutely, completely, and totally love the picture, but not sure what to do with it? Hold on, I got you. Okay, so like I've got this one here. Really love this girl, but I didn't end up putting her in the journal. So one thing that you can do, so what I'm just going to do here, really easy. So what I need is probably storage and maybe even like a fun edge. What I'm going to do is I want to create a little bit of a flip out. Let me show you. I added some of these fun sure, I don't know, these are hinges. They're in one of the fussy cut kits, and I've had a lot of fun enjoying using these. Let me show you how I'm going to use them. You do not need to use these hinges. You do not need to use hinges. I'm just wanting to show you how you might go about using them, since I was asked. It's one element I was asked to show is how to use these. What are these and what are they for? These guys are hinges. So this will work for any kind of page where you have something that you want to show off the picture. Maybe another edge where you want to cover up something else in the journal. It's a great way to use it as a cover up. So let's find a place for her. I'm going to keep in mind where I have something else that's similar to that. Maybe here. Yeah. So you see how it could go on two ways with the hinges, right? This may be just a little bit self-explanatory, but I'm wanting you to see that, right, she could go, I'll put the hinges here, flip out this way. Or this way. It's really like adding a page into your journal, okay? And so you can do one of two things. So I didn't glue it on purpose so that you could see that we have a idea of how it'll go. Let me just finish cutting these hinges and ink them so I can place this in. I've changed my mind a little bit because one of these will go in with a paper clip, and I'll show you that. So this one I'm actually I'm going to set it aside for just a second. We'll get right to it. But I opted for something like this. This is a little bit different here. So what I've done here is I want to pay attention here as I'm making the fold, and what you can see is that I did not get enough of a fold here so that I can keep it in the journal. I'm really, you know, have you had a fold out mat before? Something like that where you want to show the whole page, but you don't, you're kind of adding the page. That's what the kind of idea is, especially with the hinges. So yeah, I haven't measured it. I kind of did it off camera there. But so I'm going to put this one in here. You could, if you wanted to, depending on what you want to show, you could glue this here and here and have it be a pocket where you slide something in. But I want it to be actually a full pull out. So what I'm going to do is attach the hinge on this side by adding the glue. Way too much glue. Gross. Put the hinges where I want them first on this side. You could use washi tape here. You could use a strip of paper. A couple of different ways you could do it. This is just something that's like a decorative item to do that with, okay? Because you can see that. So now I'm just gonna fold these over and glue it in place. The hinges are a great way to add pages, you know, however you want to, as a flip out. And the verdict is out since I folded that really last minute. but I wanted to be able to see her because I think she's pretty. And then you know what? This too. This might not have been the place given it was right by this here, but it's where it ended up. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to put hinges on this side so that on this side, you also see, that's why there are 4 of them that match. You'll see that on this side. I'll show you when I'm done. But what I wanted to do is show you that what you can do. Let's see. Where should we put her? Here. So she kind of needs to go like here. Before I move on, I actually ended up moving this page, and I felt like it was too close to the other rural scene. I'm not going to take the time right now, but off camera I will probably, because of the blankness of this page here, I will probably fill like with a pocket here or something like that. But in order for me to keep this shut, it's going to be a really great time for me to use a paper clip to do that. And so I'm going to just put it as a placeholder. I've got to sit down and make paper clips for this journal, and I haven't done that yet. Because I've shown that in another video, I didn't make that a priority to show you now, but you can see on this side, as this dries, this will be a nice little fold out page here. So that's one way to add that. And then another way is just to paper clip it in. So I've got that girl that needs a place, and right here. Nope. Too close to that. Yeah, she's okay to go here where that other one was. See, this is going to need to get covered up with something. So the options are, you can just paper clip it in. See, I've got this paper clip here. You just, definitely one way to do it. You know, just paper clip it in place as if it was a part, and just leave it as a fold out page. What I'm actually going to do is, this will be a little bit of an envelope here, so I'm going to notch this and ink this and glue this. Okay, I've got it inked, just going to glue it now. This would be a great place to add some pockets. So I'm going to do that. We'll transition into pockets. I'll show you a little bit about most of the pockets that come with the kit. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory how you might use those, but see, so in here it needs to be inked. Grab a couple of the pieces I'm going to make as a pocket. Yeah, I'm going to just show you how I'm going to repair that too really quick. You could probably use anything, any scrap paper that would go with this journal, in fact. Let's do that. So to make a repair like that, I'm just going to tear a piece of paper. It ends up looking a little bit like a ripped page, and ink both sides, and I'll glue it in. This page, I'm going to use it. This is perfect for pockets and having a little something to tuck into. So I'm going to cut these, and I'm probably going to stack them 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. I've got 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 here. So let's see. first thing I want to do is a design choice. So if I place this here, okay, and have my flip be more like, you know, like something that flips up like that, that's one choice. Okay. Another choice is to make this here and have this be what's seen, which I kind of like. Okay. So as I glue this down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to notch this back piece like a pocket so that so that it's a pocket back there. This is going to be the piece that goes here, right? And the next question is do I want the whole thing to pull out? Or would I just like to have something, I could just have it pull down and be a pocket. And I think what I'm going to do on this one is just have it pull down and be a pocket. And because of the design edge, I'm going to make my pocket on this side. Okay, so now you can see what I need to do here. Now, I want you to see, I could stack the pockets. Probably not going to on this one, because I could tuck a larger tag in this spot here. But I could make them stacked pockets like this if I wanted to and notch them. That's a design choice. So here, I'm just going to add glue, okay, here, here, and here to create my first pocket. Right? Now I need to create this pocket. And the way I'm going to do that is add glue here, here, now I could have made a fancy closure, I'll say that, and put it underneath so that it, I don't need a paper clip or something, but this is a great way to use your paper clips or a little something that you have that's, you know, to keep it closed. I'm not going to stuff it at the moment. I would like, so like this would need to be trimmed. I just grabbed that as an example. But you can see on this one, you know, I'll probably put something in there that sticks out a little bit and that I can see on this side. Okay, so I'm not going to decorate it because there's a lot I still want to show you. So this is one of those, and she will probably just sit in the journal almost as if she was a page that gets removed with some, you know, elements tucked in. I will do something very similar. Oh, where'd they go? Yeah, I have these two pages too that I wanted to use in a very similar way. So that's one way is to do this, to tuck it into the journal. Place that in place. Right? What's another thing you can do with a large page like that? Let me show you. So this can become itself a whole large pocket, okay? Probably going to trim it down a little bit so that it fits inside. Probably like that. Just going to hold it like that and then like this. I'm going to use this as my lip to glue it into my page. And then, you know, I'm not necessarily crazy about her hair, but I am going to do, so I am going to kind of do something like this. Not a lot. I don't want to take a lot of her hair. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. So I can make a design choice at this point. So if I'm going to take away her hair there, do I want my envelope to open on this side and have the flap pull this way? I think that's what I'm going to do. So if that's my case, I need to cut this part out. And since I'm going to be cutting this part out, the little flip down of a large envelope, I cut this out just ever so slightly so that I know that it's a pocket. So you can see how it has, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing here, just create a little bit of an edge. Just make my own kind of shape. Okay. These will get inked, and then I'll show you how I put it in my journal. Here we go. So I've got my envelope folded. You can make it an envelope and just use a paper clip to paper clip it in if you wanted, but I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to make it just a flip out. Oh, that's double glue. I didn't need to do that. Got glue here, and I didn't need it here, but in here. I'm just going to glue my envelope shut, leaving my little flappy. I want it to go here. So the way that that's going to work is to, do I want it to go there? That edge is so pretty. Do I want to go here? Yeah, I want to go here. So then I'm going to add the glue to this back side of this lip. You can see you can stuff this pocket with anything. This is a great place to add extra ephemera that matches the kit that you didn't necessarily find a place for. And if you're gifting the journal owner can add it if they wanted to, if they want to embellish the journal more. But it's a great way to have a flip envelope with one of those pages. Super pretty if you add a set of pockets here or something. Got another place here to make another tuck spot. But my goal at this very moment is to show you what to do with the pages before I move on to the pockets. Like that. So that's one idea. Okay. She's super pretty. And I've got one more of these, so since something doesn't come to mind right away, I'm going to move on to the pockets, okay? It could really just get folded and tucked in anywhere, you know, the way this one did. Okay, let's move on to creating pockets, but we're not going to use the items that were gifted to you if you purchased the kit. So here's one of the envelopes that comes as a full page. And this one I opted to, I'm going to fold it. This one actually will make a workable envelope if you want to use this piece as a workable envelope. Probably would have done a lot better to score this. I'm just trying to do it quick, so don't be like me. So this is so simple here, really. This could fold out, right? I'm going to just glue here and here to make this a pocket belly band to tuck something bigger into, and then to tuck something in there. So really this one is just going to be an envelope, and making an envelope belly band that is also a pocket, right? Ink. This will be a great place to place a large tag or some other item that is fairly wide. I think I had something. Oops. No, but I will show you, like, this is meant to hold a big tag, okay, behind here. And we're not going to take the time to make the tag because I'm going to hope you've got that down, but tuck something in here like this. And consider that done as far as, you know, like, I put that in there, but I'm going to know that I'm going to add a belly band later. Okay, let's move on. I've got one of these that's got two of these. I don't know what they are. They're I made these to look like envelopes, but they could be cards also. And I paid attention to this edge open here. What I'm going to do is cut them and leave that. Yeah, oops. I actually don't think I left a large enough space to be able to do what I wanted to with this, but no. See, move on. It's not going to work without the larger lip that I wanted, so consider that a mistake. And you'll either see, if you see it, it's because I'm still not good with my editing skills. And that's true. I'm really working on those, but it seems to be so much that I'm working on with this journal. Okay, let's keep going with the pockets. So there's a sheet in the 1789 Versailles kit, and often in many of the kits that I do. This is called a 3x3. Okay, these are really a sheet of ATC cards. You could do these without having the kit, merely by, this is 1/3 of a page. So this basically would be the same as doing, if you had a sheet of a 6x6, would be like a 3x6 sheet here, and then divided by 3. But what I've done is I've taken one of those pages and I have left the lip on the side. I've inked the edges, and then I punched this side, just make it up a little bit more. Figure out where we're going to put it. Let's put it here. I'm actually going to put it in the center of my journal. And what we'll want to do is, so I've inked also in between where there might have been the white edges, okay? And first thing I'm going to do is place it in my journal. So add some glue. And I'm placing it a little bit closer to the edge because I've got a little space here where I'm going to have something sticking out. So what we have there. So now we need to do something with this to kind of just cover it up. I think I may use just a very similar type paper. Yeah, I'm actually just going to use, this is a very similar paper, but we'll make it just kind of look like the paper had a bit of a tear in it. You could add this in the beginning if you wanted. You know, make it a little bit of a tear sheet, a tear something. Because I'm going to end up covering this in just a second, this portion here. But so now what I'm going to do is make these into 3 pockets. So I'm going to glue here. I really should have my smaller glue on the crease here, and on this crease also here. Right, so, oh, down below. So down below here. Just together. And I opted, because of time, to not go through the process of spending a ton of time showing you the decorating and stuff, but I'm just going to show you that I've opted to put these little tags in here. It's not completely interactive yet because it's got to dry. What this would look really cute with is like a nice larger fussy cut, and I'm not sure if I'm going to actually do that because I'm not decorating with it right now. But so then we have, oh, not so good, is it? Let's see. Just have to go all the way in before it to fold open here. Out of the same paper, the same page, I used 2 of the other pieces. So I used a full 3x3, and I'm making pockets here that match. You could really put anything on this side. Those will get stuffed, so we'll have a place to stuff. Yeah, this is trifold, just a little bit thick. We'll want pieces that are, I didn't prepare anything directly, so I may just leave these in here. for now as a kind of a placeholder, but you'll see we'll have those two there, and then on this side too. Okay. And I don't know if this, yeah, this one's, nope. So here, I've prepared some of the, some of the pockets. So these are just the pockets that come with the kit. What I've done is stack them and decorate them. I wanted you to kind of see, I've got a whole bunch of them that I've done. I think the pockets were really pretty self-explanatory, but I just want to kind of show you some fun ways to add them or put them together as far as decorating goes, because it seemed like, you know, it's a pocket, right? But so what I've done here is essentially added a ruffle, and this is a tuck spot. I'll show you that. Let's see. One sec. So I don't know, got stuff. Most of these need to be inked, but I'm trying to go for time saving here and just grabbing some things that'll work. But you can see now we've got stacked, and it might be really nice to put a little tab or something on that side there. On this side, did the same thing, but I added a, see here, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing on this one. Looks like I need to add a little bit more glue. Let's see. So I used, this is another thing, I made an envelope from one of those pages. I showed you I made the envelope earlier. This is another envelope that I've made using the extra page. This paper was not printed on the heavier paper because I knew that that was kind of going to be my intention here. So on this, I'm going to make the top, oops, a tuck spot. Right up here. So I made some tags, and I've got some fun ways to show you about adding tops. Probably gonna have to put, when you have a long tuck like this, it helps to have your tag on stronger paper, so I definitely will have to do that after. I mostly am right now wanting to kind of give you, oops, an idea of, I'm giving you ideas more than I actually am paying attention to the construction as far as like how specifically to make each piece. A lot of these I'm feeling like are like, you know how to do that. I brought you this far, so that tag will go in there, and then we'll have to stuff it with some ephemera. And I'm just randomly picking ephemera. I'm not thinking about it. I'm just knowing there's a tuck spot so that when I go back to kind of complete my journal, I'll have that. So there's that page. I have a whole bunch of pockets I've prepared that I need to kind of put in to my journal. Wondered if, nope. Just gonna add this on the side. You can see that I've actually glued the pockets together so that they become one piece. Makes it easier for getting things aligned if you're doing things ahead of time. And you know, you can build your journal in a lot of different ways, right? You can build the ephemera pieces first and then figure out where the ephemera pieces go, or you can do it page by page. Sorry that my fingers are very covered in glue today, because I've been working on this journal for about 8 hours today, and hoping to kind of finish it up because I've got to come into May. Okay, so there's another one, and let's see. So here's a tuck spot. I need something to go in there. That's a great place to place a larger page. I think I'll have to do that. So you'll see that in the flip through. Let's do this here. So I've got this pocket prepared this way. This is 2 pockets together with a ruffle on the bottom. Just gonna add the glue. There we go. Some more in the front. This is a nice place. I like this here. This is just a little bit of a smaller 2 of them that I put together for some smaller tags. And I did the same thing. I made this into 1 piece. Put the ruffle on the bottom. Again, this is just, I'm just picking random stuff to put in there. Oh, did my bow stick down? Let's see, what else have I got? Did this earlier, that one there. She's a flip out, so we can put something like this here. So this is another trick. So I glued 2 pieces of ephemera together so that I could take creative control over how they are collaged together, and I'm going to use it to kind of make a pocket. So just put that where I like it. Let's stick a few more things coming out of it. That one there, since we got that lace on the bottom. Need a pocket. I think the pocket needs to dry a little bit more. So I'm just going to leave that in there as a placeholder, and then I think I've got yeah, just here. Like I said, the things that I'm placing in the pockets at this moment are mostly where I'm saying this is a placeholder, come back, figure out what you're gonna, how you're gonna stylize it. Because I kind of consider the end of, like the end of the journal, one of the last things I'll do is kind of style it. I didn't get enough glue. We got some pages stuck together. Go. There's this pocket working here. Oh, we're getting full. This is pretty amazing. I love it. This side. I prepared this pocket, which I think is fun. Oh, it's got to go on this edge. Let's put it here. This is 2 tags put together, and I've made them into one piece. I'll get something fairly big that I need to put in there. Just bigger anyway. I'm going to replace this. I made a couple of paper clips, so I think this paper clip is smaller. Oh, I don't know, maybe not, because I don't like the way that it covers up. Okay, I'll have to see, that may need another place. Okay, I've got these two little pockets left. Actually, I think I may wait just a little bit on those last two. Let's make sure we know this is a pocket that needs to be stuffed. Let's put that there. Since this will be the last video for this particular collection, I just want to thank you for joining me this month. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, I've got a piece that I want to find a place for. Out there. You can see we've covered a lot of ground in this video. I need to dry. Just put a couple things in there to it as a placeholder. Prepared this pocket. This is like a stuffed pocket. This is an envelope. So the kit comes with tons of envelopes. This is just an envelope with some vellum on the bottom. And it's just, what I'm going to do is just add glue here along the edge and along the bottom here, and then right here in the center at the top. You keep it open. this one's a little bit thick to use there. Maybe that one. Definitely work on the glue, but you get the idea there of that one. Okay. And I also prepared this one for you. This is one of those, another sheet. So this is one of those where it's one of those sheets that's got 4. You can see what it looked like before. Okay, and all I've done is basically print it on 2 sides. Use these as doors. I've inked everything. I cut a spot here for a tuck in the back, and now we're just going to actually added pockets here and here. We're just going to actually add glue here and here and make it a tuck spot. I used Velcro as the closure. Should we put it there? Right here. Okay. So now our tuck spot back there. So we've got in here. There too. This will need like more. Let's see, what else have I got for you? I want to show you a couple more things. I want to make sure that I cover everything I can before I end the video, so that I've showed you different ways of using most of the different pages. So these were corner pieces, like cut and put in your journal. And all I'm going to do is actually put just a tiny little glue right here, not a lot, to hold it in. And I'll get something tucked in there. There's quite a few of those that I have. They came with a kit. There's this one. See, before I end the video, let's see if I go there, kind of give you a little bit of a overview of what we've done. Added lace, right? I don't realize this page got stuck together. We've added lace. We've added vellum. We added a ripped page. Pockets. This flip out envelope with some stacked ephemera in there. And I think I'm going to put here. On this one, I used one of the envelopes as a pocket. I didn't show you this. I haven't decided where to put this yet. We'll tuck her in there for now. Let's see what we do. We did this pocket. Need something stuck in there. Let's take more ephemera in here. I think I'm gonna use this. Put this on. I did this belly band with this tuck. Added more lace. This envelope. Here's a corner tuck. I'll show you this. Here's a little envelope. I don't know which, paper clip, right? So let's actually stick that in there too. I'm going to use this. Change it. There we go. What else did we do? Oh, wait, put this in. I still have some pages. Vellum pocket. This pocket here. This envelope stack tag. We did this here, the belly band with the vellum pocket. I think I'll show you, let's put some of these in here. I'm just gonna attach this at the top. It's gonna stick out a bit so that I can put a tag in there. You'll probably see that a little bit. Like that. This pocket. We did this. It's got these that pull out. And this with this envelope. Wow, guys, we did a lot. This fold out page. This pocket, this pocket. Use a little round medallions as tag toppers. Did this pocket. We did this pocket. Oh my goodness, guys. About need something under here. You'll see that in the flip through. She's about done. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name's Rose, and I'm the creative guide here behind Wild Rose Bohemian. I would love it if you left me a comment, or if you've enjoyed the series. Tell me what you've liked and what you might like to see more of. If you're new, thank you for joining me and giving me a try. We hope you'll subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when I put up more videos, you'll be notified. And those of you that have been with me for a long time, I can't thank you enough for all of your immense support and the return viewing. It's making all of this so possible for me. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. See you in the next video.